First Paris, then San Bernardino, two countries thrown into whirlwinds of violence and panic. Police and intelligence services caught off guard. According to reports from officials, echoed by the media,
they used heavily encrypted messaging techniques.
The attackers in both cases used encryption to conceal their plans.
It is likely that encryption, end-to-end encryption, was used to communicate between individuals in Belgium, in France, and in Syria.
Easy-to-find technology that hides communications. Officials say it's giving terrorists an edge.
These apps, these devices that now allow these terrorists to operate effectively without fear of penetration by intelligence services.
The Achilles heel in the internet is encryption. It's a black web, and there's no way of piercing it.
This week, the director of the FBI called on lawmakers to pressure companies to give the agency new access to encrypted messages.
There's no doubt that the use of encryption is part of terrorist tradecraft now.
Encryption is coding information so that when you're online, it's illegible. You can't read it. You have to have the keys in order to access the communications, to decipher it, decode it. If it's securely encrypted and the keys only reside with the individuals who are doing the communicating, law enforcement wouldn't be able to access that, even with a warrant.
Even before the internet, there's been public demand for private communications.
I want to talk about some secure subjects. I'm going to put us in secure now.
In the 1980s and 90s, encryption technology put that demand on a collision course with the U.S. government.
This exact same discussion happened then. It was called the crypto wars, and it was around something called the Clipper chip.
On a computer chip called a Clipper chip.
The government-championed Clipper chip was supposed to encrypt data, but in a way that gave them keys to crack the code. It was a technical and political failure. By the mid-90s, the laws around encryption were relaxed, and the power of the public to have private, secure communications aided the explosive growth of the internet. Then came 9/11.
We're too great a nation to allow the evildoers to affect our soul.
And laws were passed that allowed government a broad reach to spy on behalf of national security. In 2013, rogue NSA contractor Edward Snowden revealed just how extensive that spying had become. Agents snooping on millions, everyone from ex-girlfriends to world leaders.
What Mr. Snowden revealed was that mass surveillance is taking place. This is applicable to everyone.
Big companies like Apple are now profiting on that mistrust, selling consumers sophisticated encryption power on their new devices.
Our hardware and software use encryption.
So Apple, for example, you'll hear the CEO, Tim Cook, saying, with the iPhone, etc., we couldn't, to law enforcement, even if you want us to decrypt this, we can't because we don't hold the keys.
Strong encryption available to anyone automatically, potentially even to criminals and terrorists.
The problem we face post-Snowden is it's moved from being available to the sophisticated bad guy to being the default.
Critics say that's scaremongering. Those early reports of attackers using encryption in Paris and San Bernardino, so far, there's no proof.
Could you update us about what is known about the role encryption may have played in these attacks?
I don't want to talk about Paris yet or San Bernardino.
And in an age of cybercrime and cyber war where anyone can be watched, weakening encryption for government may make us less safe.
You would allow another point of entry, but it wouldn't just be for law enforcement. It would be another door for the hackers, for China, for thieves, cyber thieves, attackers.
And with so much depending on security and strong encryption products available across the globe, the Pandora's box is open.
No one is going to give up their secure systems. Think of banks, major corporations around the world. A number of the cryptographers I spoke to just said, it's not going to happen.
After Edward Snowden, the world may get its privacy back, but there's a price.